to my channel. Welcome. This is another awesome video where I just woke up and I'm still in bed. Um because I just, sometimes when you feel it, right? So, I wanted to talk to you about these beautiful, I want to call it a Mercury retrograde sandwich, okay? Now, we're knee deep in retrograde energy. If I say something wrong, have mercy. You know, um, it's been tough. Yesterday I was thinking about just not even showing my face until after these energies are done. But then I realized, oh snap, that's going to be a long time because we're in retrograde energy now in September. Technically, it's almost September, right? I'm counting it from September. Now, if we're coming out of Mercury retrograde in September, and then we got the shadow period after that, we've only got October and November, okay? Because then the shadow period's going to show back up in December, because toward the end of December, there's another Mercury retrograde. The thing is, in October and November, there's planets going direct that you're going to feel and see and experience. So, personally, just by looking at the transits and looking at what's happening from September to December, if you're hoping to get your mental clarity back, I think that you would be better off learning how to navigate in the chaos instead of saying, oh, well, this is temporary. It's just Mercury. No, no. Let me help y'all. Because that's a false sense of security right there. This, it's literally going to feel like Mercury is retrograde from now to the end of the year, y'all. And it's because of the combinations of the other transits and all of the moving around and stuff, okay? Um, that echo is going to be prevalent. And even though you may experience some times where you feel stronger cognitively, um, because of the chaos and because of the changes and things like that, y'all forgive me, I'm sitting here yawning. It's crazy. It didn't start happening until I start talking. Okay, so because of the craziness that's still gonna be, taking place, um, even though you may not be like forgetting your words or dropping thoughts or anything like that, even though communication may become a little smoother, there's still going to be those rugs being pulled up under you, those last minute changes, those surprises, those things that pop up that you didn't know were there. Because remember, there's planets that have been retrograde for a while that are going to be moving direct, and that's when you're going to see all of the internal work in the external world. So it's going to still feel retrograde. You see what I mean? It's just going to be a different type of foobar, you know? And I say that in a way, not because it's going to be bad. It's only going to be bad for those who are still yet trying to hold on to anything that is trying to leave them. It's going to be great for those of you who have been strength training and doing your cardio and doing what you need to do for the endurance, because this is what you need the endurance for. You need to be able to stay on your toes. You need to be able to make adjustments. You need to have the energy to respond to all of this stuff that is changing and shifting. Okay. Um, because it's literally, I don't feel like you should have a false sense of security about how retrograde is going to be over, and then you should be able to think straight and all this and that, and everything should be smooth sailing. Not the way these planets are set up, man. Not the way the meeting is scheduled. So my best advice to you right now is to lean into the fall. And I mean that in so many different ways. Y'all know that autumn, fall is about transformation. It's about death. It's the death card in tarot. Okay? It is about change. The thing is, as a season, that change is usually internal. Okay? This is why things get a little quiet during the fall, and then they become absolutely silent during the winter, right? So if you were to think of the fall season like, this is the way that I see it, y'all, the best way that I can explain it. During the fall season, it's like somebody being on hospice care. You know that they're going to die. Okay? You know that there is a death that is literally in action, a death process. And then when winter comes, that's when the bell rings. That's when it happens, right? And that's why winter is so silent as far as the energy is concerned. And it's that moment of peace before we come into the spring, where it's like everything is new and loud and legit, like out there. So when I say lean into the fall, I mean lean into that transformation. Lean into what you know, whatever you know is dying in your life. Lean into it. Don't run from it. Don't be trying to control it. Don't be scared of it. Let it. Let it fall. Okay? Let it transform. Let it change. And also, the message is to let it change you. Um, and if you are falling yourself, your physical body, mind, body, and spirit, lean into that fall. There is nothing worse and more dangerous than when you're actually experiencing a physical fall and you're trying to break your fall. You actually get hurt worse when you're trying to break your fall. There's more damage done. So if you know that you are falling, allow yourself to fall so that you don't cause a whole bunch of damage on your way down. Lean into the fall. Okay? That is where your power and your control is. If you know something is over, your power is allowing it to truly be over. And that's usually what people don't expect you to do, because they wouldn't do it, because they're too scared, because they're yet holding on, causing a lot of damage, because they want to break their fall. There's no way they could do it, so of course it's going to affect them by watching you do it. They're scared to fall, but you're not. So lean into it, because the faster that you allow that fall. Hello, Janae. Greetings, love. The faster you allow the transformation, the breakdown, the the actual fall, right? The more that the more you lean into it, the quicker it happens. And then you can move into your peace phase. Your winter will come sooner, right? And then you'll move into your spring phase. You'll see your spring phase well before you're out of winter. And that's going to be your motivation for when it's time to take action. So Mariana wants to know, how do you gain dis- discernment on what to let go? Oh, honey, thank you for asking that question, because I'm in it right now. Like, okay, for some of y'all, you got to understand, when your eyes are opened, when you have another awakening, when you have an internal awakening and you realize some things, guess what? That's only for you. That's not for everybody else. So guess what? They not going to understand. And they going to think you crazy. They're going to think you reckless. They're going to think a lot of things of you, but you should not give a damn what they think, because you're the one that is affected by the choices that you make. Okay? So, if you want to know if there's any confusion in your mind about what you should be allowing to fall in your life, or if you're even falling, because guess what? Some people don't even know that they're falling. And when I say that you're falling as a person, that means that you're going through a transformation. And sometimes you don't actually realize that that's what's happening to you. Okay? Um, the way that you're going to know, let's focus on external first, is that your interactions with people, places, things, situations are going to become very difficult, very confusing, and very frustrating, and very monotonous, to where you're asking the question, why am I still doing this? Why did I do this again? Or your body is going to react in a way where it doesn't light up and expand when you go to do that thing anymore. You'll notice a change in something that maybe you used to enjoy that you haven't enjoyed for the last 2 or 3 times that you did it. And your mind wants to hold on to, well, you've always enjoyed this. Maybe it's this, maybe it's that. It wants to pick it apart, but it wants you to keep doing that thing even though you don't enjoy it anymore, because it doesn't make sense that you don't enjoy it. So your mind is going to immediately try to hold on to what is normal, when the bottom line is you don't enjoy it anymore. You see what I mean? So anything that's bringing you confusion, frustration, making you question yourself, making you feel like you crazy, is falling in your life. Anything that does not feel secure, anything that is not, you know, helping you to expand and allowing you to have that homeostasis of spirit, anything that's affecting you on such a level where you're beating yourself down and you're constantly having to make excuses to stay in it, is definitely falling. Um, and I think the hard part for those who don't know what's falling in their life is not finding out what's falling, because honestly, they know what's falling, they just hadn't been honest with themselves about it. They wasn't ready. They're not ready to allow it to fall, right? So the hard part is admitting that certain things are falling and then allowing them to fall, because we live in a society where we've been programmed for consistency and loyalty to things outside of us, not to ourselves. So you're thinking, well, did I try enough? Did I did I do enough in this situation? I don't want people to think that I'm not reliable or loyal or consistent or serious, right? You don't want the other people in the situation to think certain things about you. So then you overanalyze the situation over and over again, and you hold on to it because we were programmed to do that. So the moment that something goes from being secure to unsecure is your clue that it's falling, because we're living experiences every day. One moment everything is in alignment, and the next moment is not. And you've got to be okay with that, because there's a reason why that thing fell out of alignment. Something new is trying to come in. There's a change. The only constant is change. And the reason why we know the only constant is change is because it's been proven over and over again. Not by people allowing change, but by people trying to keep change from happening. That's how we know that the only constant is change, because we're constantly trying to stop it. Um, and as for those who don't know whether or not you're falling, whether you're transforming, you will know if you are transforming when your mind starts to think of things differently. And there is an in between, okay? You will become split, okay? Your higher mind will be telling you, hey, this ain't a good look. Like, we not finna do this no more. But your old self is still there. And your old self is like, you don't have to worry about changing. Take your time. It's okay to still do this. But your higher mind is saying, this has to stop yesterday. And your regular, self, your old self that's going to die will convince you that you can take all the time that you need. It's not an emergency. You can keep doing this thing until you feel comfortable letting it go. Nah. And so you'll have that dialogue for a little while. And then you'll finally keep experiencing the negative ramifications. And then you'll finally allow your higher self to take over, and that other thought that wants to keep you in comfort will finally go away, because it will have merged, and now everybody agrees that you need to stop doing this, you need to change that, you know uh, but it's a process. So then Mariana wants to know, what is it for you that should be bringing a peace and balance? I think she wants to know. No, that was a person in a person. She's old. Look, okay, so it's early, y'all, to me, and I just woke up. So y'all forgive me because I'm sitting here. This is why I don't get caught up in these comments. Oh, that was hilarious. Because I just realized what I was doing. this is a conversation between a person who's a person, and Mariana is they were addressing he she or he was addressing her. Anyway. Oh my goodness. But yeah, it's not a race though. I don't want y'all to misunderstand me when it comes to the quicker that you allow yourself to fall, the faster you're going to come into your peace time, and then you're also going to start to see what's coming for you that's good and new and great, right? It's still going to happen in divine timing. The thing is, one thing I know, especially going through the ascension process, is what gets a lot of us through is being able to see what is on its way, right? So when I say that, if you lean into the fall, you'll get to your peacetime quicker, that basically means that you will not only feel your peace, but you will be able to do whatever healing you got to do and be able to see what's coming toward you and feel more like you're supported, um, and be in your knowing to where you can hold that space better and allow the time to pass until those things get to you. Because when you are too busy trying to hold on to stuff, you can't see anything, and there's no hope, there's no support, there's nothing, because everything is horrible. So that's what I mean. So when I say lean into the fall, just you're getting to your peace quicker so that you can see and be still and know, you know. Purge, purge, purge. Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of purging. And sometimes you guys, I don't even knock it. There are some of us that literally feel like we're dying, like seriously feel like we're dying, and that's a real thing, okay? Um so if you've ever heard somebody literally say that, like, it's a real thing. Like, you literally, it can get so intense you feel like you're not gonna wake up the next day. Ascension is like legit. You are walking between worlds. You are becoming all of you. And part of you is spirit. And sometimes that's, you will feel like more spirit than you feel human in the physical body. Seriously. And it's okay. This is why we have to remind each other every now and again, hey, you're not dying. You're going to be okay. It would be too easy to just dip out, you know. We don't get it that easy. You can mourn yourself, you know. You can literally mourn yourself as you are falling. There's a whole mourning period because you loved that self. And there's this new self coming in, and you're like, who are you? You know what I mean? I don't know if I could trust you. It's a whole thing internally. Am I seeing the words macaroni union? Hold up. Okay, look up the song called Macaroni Union. I definitely will. It says dash weightless. So Macaroni Union dash weightless. It was designed to calm the heart and the vital signs. Oh, and it works. That's awesome. Just the name alone is very catchy. Yep, we aren't dying. We're coming back to life, and it's painful. Yeah, yeah, it can be. The soul, without the body does not know what it's like to have emotions and physical pain and stuff. So when we have these flip-flops and points of harmony, that's what I call them, harmonic resonance points. When we have those, it can be intense. When we have both now the awareness of the physical and the spirit, you know. Um, but yeah, for some people right now, they are falling, and a lot of things in their life are falling too. And it's best to just lean into the fall and don't be disappointed if once Mercury does go forward, you don't actually feel that way. This is a huge ascension corridor that we are going through. And the point is for you to learn to navigate within it and not really try to force anything. Really switch your brain to allowing. Allow joy, allow love, allow patience, allow mercy. You know, um, it needs to be allowed and not figured out or tried or forced. Love to you. Um, so yeah, I'm just giving y'all a heads up now. There's a lot of things falling, i.e., changing, transforming, and there's going to be a lot of evidence of that outside of you. And then at the same time, you may be falling, changing, transforming, and there's going to be a lot of evidence with your internal dialogue, with the way that you see things, your perspectives are changing. Um, you just got to be okay with it, you know. As long as, you know, if you all of a sudden don't want to eat grapes and you have an aversion to grapes, somebody offers you grapes and you're like, oh no. And then you check in with yourself and you're like, wait, where did that come from? I mean, dang. You went from loving them to absolutely not liking them, like you've been allergic. Because these things are going to happen. You're going to have a strong aversion to things. And you don't have to try to pick that apart. Just allow it to be. Because there's a reason for it. And it's not going to make sense to you or anybody else for that matter, but just know if you get goosebumps or if your whole body rejects something that you're used to having, there's a reason at that time for it. Just go with it, you know. Don't worry about if you're ever going to like grapes again, you know, or if you're ever going to enjoy that, you know, going to the movies again or whatever. Just let it go for the time that it needs to go. Some of these things may come back. Sometimes it's just temporary because you have specific upgrades, and some of them may go forever. But in that moment, it's important to just let it go. Just let it. And also to embrace whatever is new that's coming up, because you may have an aversion to some things and then find some new interest in other things. Explore those new interests. This is you leaning into it. The fall can be absolutely beautiful, or it can be absolutely horrible. Okay? For people like me, I love the fall. The air is crisp. That's when I'm outside the most. But for some other people, because it's allergy season, it's horrible for them. And they are not outside during the fall. So you get to decide where you find the beauty. I love fall decor. I love all the colors. You know, death is not always this horrible thing. There's beauty in everything because that's the gift that we have being here in this reality. There is beauty that can be found in a whole lot of situations that you wouldn't think that beauty could be found. But you have to actually be looking for it. You have to actually be open to receiving that beauty. For those of you who are not aware of Bhakti Yoga, um, I think it's BHAKTI, Bhakti Yoga. If you have a hard time finding the beauty and stuff, definitely look into Bhakti Yoga. It will definitely help you see beauty where you really didn't expect to see it. Fall is the harvest time. To where you're purging and making space for the blessings. And that's why, again, it's either going to be one way or the other with you, because if you're reaping not so good results from all of the actions you've taken thus far, it may feel like fall is horrible. The transformation is horrible for you. Um, and at the same time, if you're reaping, results that see, y'all see what's happening to me? Yeah. I'm sitting here like, look, just stop. And this is me again. I'm practicing what I preach. I'm gonna just let that go because it did not want to happen. Well, y'all understood me. Y'all got me. You knew where I was going with that. Oh man. I don't know. And it's and I've accepted that it's gonna be like this. You know that? I've accepted. And yesterday I had the thought that I was just gonna not do no videos until after retrograde, and then this morning I realized, I said, you can't do that. You got to deal with this. So I'm choosing to deal with it in the most comedic way possible so that I'm not frustrated. Talking about, damn, you're a Capricorn? You talk straight out of my head, I swear. Yeah, I'm a Western Capricorn, y'all. Um, y'all know I follow Vedic astrology, which makes me a Sagittarius sun. This is why it's hard for me to sit down somewhere. I like to travel. I like to be out there merging souls with strangers. That's just my thing. Um, but yeah, so just know from now toward the end of the year, y'all just gonna have to give me grace because I can already tell I'm gonna have to just accept the cognitive thing that's going on. It's okay, you know. It's okay. It's like somebody patting you on the head when they saw you just screwed up something like royally, and there nobody can utter a word because it was so bad. And they just feel bad for you more than they feel about whatever you screwed up. Like that, those are the moments. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Y'all, I'm trying to wake up and I can feel autumn approaching because for some odd reason it's harder to wake up during that season for me. It's harder to get up out of the bed and be ready to tackle the day. I'm just like, no. But I'll keep on trying. I'll set my alarm 3 or 4 times. Yep, you know, there's a 30-degree difference. Cap cusp to Sag, she said. Or he. Are you, look, are you male or female? I probably asked you this before, but it's hard to remember. A person who is a person. Do you identify as male or female? Because sometimes I don't be knowing what to say. Oh my gosh. Oh, I feel because I don't. I swear I've called you a male a few times. Ain't no telling. My bones hurt. The weather is going to change. Right? Yeah, yeah. Well, we be feeling it. Human barometers. But for those of us who live in the US and in other places that have like all 4 seasons, we're actually lucky because hanging out in Africa, I realized that they don't really go through all of the seasons like we do. So I feel like we are more conditioned for, various weather conditions and things like that. Like we got a advantage when it comes to that. Oh my gosh, y'all. But yeah, just be easy with yourself and everybody else. Try not to laugh, in some cases cuz again, not everybody knows what's going on. So they may be embarrassed when they can't think of the basic word or, if they mess something up and say it backwards, that actually, may upset them if you laugh. So, because they don't know why it's happening and they think something's wrong with them. Like, yeah, I rely on people to tell me when there's a hurricane coming. Somebody messaged me the other day talking about, you all right over there? And I'm like, oh, well, what's happening? Tell me. And there's something. I'm sure there's something. It's not even on my side. Um, it's on the Gulf of Mexico side. But then there's this other thing that happened, and I wasn't aware of it either. Talk about, creating your own reality. Y'all got to work hard to just focus on what you got going on. Because, again, you can't save nobody. They'll drag you down. Don't get too far into anything. And your response saying, oh, it's Mercury retrograde or oh, it's ascension, that's not enough for people who are miserable. So don't even say anything, okay? Just be like, dang, yeah, I feel you. Like, don't try to tell them why. Learn how to speak multiple density languages. Oh my gosh. Well, it depends on what you mean by bloodline clearings. And I don't like to get on here and I don't like to get on here and what do you call that? Be saying a whole bunch of crazy triggering stuff. But Can you explain to me what bloodline clearings means? Because, what I've been getting is basically 20. What is 2020 happening again in a different way, but just, that there was going to be a body count, basically. I mean, there's a lot of exit points. That's the best way for me to put that. Um, yeah. Aha. Okay. You know what's interesting is that, yeah, yeah. So with the bloodline clearings and things like that, I feel like, yeah, I have been getting those messages, but check this out. It's been different, though, than what we would think a karmic clearing is, or, even clearing past life stuff. For me, um, the lineage, and I call it lineage clearing. I call it lineage clearing or lineage transformation, just put it like that, because not all the past lives were something that you want to get rid of. There's some things that you want to integrate, with this lifetime. Like, you need to take that mastery and use it now, right? So for me personally, which I think is quite interesting because it's very strong and I recognize it, um, I have some past life tendencies coming online now, um, to help me, because I've been forcing myself to do something with, the balance wasn't proper for me. It's like somebody that says, oh, you should take vitamins. And then you go and you overdose on vitamins. That's what I was doing in this particular situation that has nothing to do with vitamins. I uh, I was trying to force something to work in a way that wasn't actually good for me, because I kept allowing myself to do things based off of how society would like them done and not how I would want it done and what would be best for me. So one of my past lives, um, tendencies had to come and say, hey, this is why you need to be this way. This is why you were this way in these past lives, and this is why you need to integrate that into this life. Because what you've tried multiple times is not working, and it's not for all of the reasons that you've made up in your head. You see? So I'm having to allow the reasons and the what I was holding on to die. I have to let it, and I have to really let it go this time, because I've tried to let it go before, but I really have to let it go and, stick to it. So yeah, there's a lot. There's just so much. And there's a lot of people that are literally going to be acting brand new, and that can be in the best way possible or the worst way possible. It just depends on where you are in your perception, and whether or not you are being codependent on those people, acting a certain way. But I know that I'm going through physically, like myself, I'm going through the fall. And then because of my fall with my physical mind, body, and spirit, I am literally dictating tower moments in my life, like on purpose. Things have to go because of the change that has happened within me. It's no longer harmonious with what's around me or what I've been doing. So I am facilitating tower moments on purpose. Thank you, love. I appreciate you too for being here. But yeah, I've held y'all long enough. I don't know if I want to lay back down. I got to get out this bed and start moving. But have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to y'all soon.